We all know and love Joey Tribbiani, right? The guy from Friends who's obsessed with sandwiches, a little goofy, and always trying to make it as an actor. But what if one little decision early on just completely changed his path? What if he didn't just scrape by? What if he actually took over Hollywood?
So let's really play with that idea for a second. What if Joey Tribbiani became a massive superstar? Forget the version of him that can't remember his lines or always gets cast as the dumb, handsome guy. I want you to imagine a world where he didn't just get a lucky break, he became an A-lister. It kind of flips everything we know about him on its head, doesn't it?
So, on one hand, you've got the Joey we're all familiar with. Lovable, always struggling, charming, but kind of flawed. And on the other, picture this. A respected A-list actor, an award nominee who doesn't just show up, he steals every single scene he's in. The difference between these two seems massive, but it all comes down to one tiny shift. Okay, so how does he get there? How do we go from a guy who can barely pay his rent to a global superstar? Well, it all starts with one small, crucial moment way back at the beginning of his career. Just one little change that unlocks all that hidden potential. Here's the catalyst. It's actually pretty simple. Instead of just trying to wing it all the time, this version of Joey decides to get serious. He actually commits. He starts going to acting classes, he rehearses like crazy, he works on his craft. He doesn't suddenly become some kind of acting genius, he's just dedicated. And that dedication sharpens the tool he always had. And that tool, that was his secret weapon, his superpower, emotional authenticity. I mean, think about it. The Joey we know feels everything so deeply. The joy, the heartbreak, the loyalty to his friends. In this alternate reality, he just learns how to take all of that raw, genuine emotion and channel it directly into his acting. That becomes the very thing that makes him a star. So, with this new dedication, his whole career path just changes. It's not just about getting one lucky break anymore. Now he's building a real legacy, one smart decision at a time.
So, it all starts with Dr. Drake Remeray, but this time he's smart about it. He doesn't get fired for being arrogant. He learns the ropes. That leads to a supporting role in a rom-com where his natural charm just pops off the screen. Pretty soon, that incredible warmth and relatability make him the go-to leading man. He's that lovable underdog everyone is rooting for, and before you know it, bam, he's a full-on movie star, walking red carpets, and people love him because he's still just Joey. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? His success isn't because he's the most polished, technically perfect actor out there. It's because he's real. Audiences see his genuine heart and his humanity, and they connect with that truth on a really deep level. But, becoming a star is one thing. Staying one, that's a whole different ballgame. So now we get to the part of the story where Joey has to prove to everyone, and maybe to himself, that he's more than just a charming personality. He has to prove he's a serious actor. This is the big question, the one that hangs over his entire career. Everybody loves him for his comedy, for that easy charm, but can he actually pull off a performance with real dramatic weight? Can he do it when there are no jokes to fall back on? The whole industry is watching, and you better believe they're skeptical. And the pressure is just immense. You've got the critics, who are sure he's going to fail without his usual bag of tricks. You've got the public, who isn't sure he's anything more than a one-trick pony. Even the studio that hired him thinks it's a huge risk. This isn't just another role. For him, it's a massive, massive gamble.
And guess what? He does it. He pulls it off. Not by trying to be some Shakespearean actor he's not, but by doing what he does best, being honest. He just taps into that core emotional authenticity and delivers a performance so full of heart that it shuts down all the doubters. He doesn't just get good reviews, he earns real, actual respect. But gaining the world's respect, well, that changes things. Fame on this scale always comes with a price, and it starts to reshape not just his job, but his entire life and the relationships that used to be his whole world. Take his friendship with Chandler. It completely evolves. It's no longer about Joey needing to borrow money all the time. Now, it's about Joey needing Chandler to keep him grounded in the absolute madness of Hollywood. His friends aren't his whole world anymore. Now, they're his anchor in a much bigger, much crazier world. And the funny thing is, all those traits that made Joey seem kind of simple before, they become his greatest strengths in a super complicated industry. He stays grounded when everyone else has a huge ego. He still celebrates the small stuff. He values loyalty way more than status. He just remains unapologetically himself.
And in a place like Hollywood, that kind of simplicity is a legitimate superpower.
So he has it all: the fame, the fortune, the respect from his peers. He's achieved everything he ever set out to do, and more. Which brings us to probably the most important question in this whole thought experiment.
Was he actually happier? That's the million-dollar question, right? Did becoming a superstar really bring him more joy and fulfillment than the life he would have had otherwise? It really makes you stop and think about what success even means.
I mean, look at it this way. The original Joey had this incredible unconditional friendship. He had a chosen family that was always there. He had a life filled with laughter. Superstar Joey, he gets global fame, respect from the entire industry, and total financial security. They're both winning, for sure, but they're playing two totally different games. Which prize do you think is actually worth more in the end?
And maybe that's the real lesson here. It's not about whether he became a superstar or not. The magic of Joey Tribbiani is that no matter what happened, he would have stayed optimistic, loyal, and just himself. And maybe that ability to just stay true to who you are, no matter what, is the greatest success anyone can ask for. What do you think?